3. Oh, we're live! Woohoo! Like since you've been gone.
I feel like we need champagne to pop, but oh well.
That would have been a great idea.
I definitely thought about something, but it's only 1 o'clock in the day, so
cheers.
Cheers.
Salut.
Next month, I'll do a stick of butter.
There we go.
You'll just like
a
stick of butter, or maybe a tub, and you can just like spoon it.
Yep.
I feel like I should. Oh, does anyone have any edamame in their fridge?
My freezer,
some soybeans.
I have beans. Yeah.
I'm deeply unprepared, and I thought I had 4 more paperbacks, like to have something to hold up and show, but it turned out I only had 2, and I packaged them this morning to send to the Goodreads winners. So those folks are getting their paperbacks, and nobody else here can see one.
Oh.
It's okay. More are on the way in the mail to me.
Good. Very good.
That's exciting. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I can't believe that we're here already. Doesn't it seem like we just started talking about this like a month ago?
Right.
Yeah. Do y'all know when we started these little bi-weekly chats?
Well, at least a year and a half ago, I asked for help brainstorming my like urban agriculture series. And Liz, you said I should call it Farm to Forking.
Yes.
But then we needed to use that for this series because mine is called Planted and Plowed.
Planted it, but that's a great name too.
Yeah.
So any euphemistic, forking or plowed is great.
Yeah. If you're just joining us live, we are the Farm to Forking authors, most of us. Erin has a child school overlap situation, but she'll be here soon. And we are here because Since You've Been Gone is live today, and so are we.
Everybody's live.
Yeah.
Hey, so to answer your question, Liz, we were definitely doing it mid-December because I have the bi-weekly meeting on our Google Calendar, but I think we were doing it more randomly before then.
I think we were doing once a week for a while.
We had talking for sure at least back in August.
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Because I wasn't pregnant yet. And I remember when I got pregnant, I had to tell you all about the timeline.
I love when you have to rearrange stuff for pregnancy.
Right. So yeah, I think summer.
If people are watching and if you have a question, if you type the question into YouTube, it's supposed to show up here that I can see it. So,
or you can just say hi and tell us where you are.
Right, and that'll let us know if it's working.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If
technology.
We've got people watching. I can see a counter.
Ooh.
Oh, cool.
And if you're watching the replay, we will check it and answer questions if you have them.
Yes,
definitely. Probably the biggest question I get is people who weren't expecting for there to be invisible disability in the book, and why did I have Leah have Crohn's disease? So I will just go ahead and talk about that. I struggle to write second chance romance. It is very hard. And there has to be like a really good reason that the couple broke up. Oh, Evie is here. Speaking of Crohn's disease. So I needed a reason for Leah and Ethan to be separated. And I needed a reason for Leah to have stayed away for so long. And so initially I thought maybe Leah would have MS, but I had some really heartfelt conversations with people who have MS, and that wasn't the thing. Leah needed to have Crohn's disease. And so I got some book resources like how to eat when you have Crohn's disease. And I spent a lot of time on the phone with several authenticity folks, just hearing about their experiences with Crohn's disease. And it was funny. One of the people was my coach's husband, and he he read the draft of the book, and he was like, I have some feedback. I don't want to hurt your feelings. I was like, oh, it's not going to hurt my feelings. He's like, here where you have her vomiting, that would be poop.
And thus the poop references were born.
Yes.
Yeah. And now there's so much poop in the series.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so Lainey, I want to address something you said.
Okay.
That you hate writing second chance romances.
It's
and
so hard.
And I have to tell you, Ember, I've never told you this before, but you shared something on your Facebook that I think about all the time. And
oh God,
it is essentially saying something like, nobody, wait, dang it, I'm gonna have to look it up now. But it's like nobody is making you write second chance romances, so you're just like so self-loathing with your choices, basically. I have to look it up now because it's so funny.
Said that.
Oh, it was about an author making themselves suffer, but claiming that they didn't make themselves suffer.
It was like a retweet or something. It was so funny, and I think about it all the time. And so now I'm thinking about Lainey doing it with her own second chance romance book.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, who made Lainey write a second chance romance?
I know.
Book? I don't think it was one of us.
We knew that Ethan had to be grumpy. I guess I don't know why I put myself through that.
Okay, I found it. So it's a tweet from CG Drews, and it says, quote, "I didn't ask to suffer like this," end quote. I say piteously, while writing the book I decided to write on the strict deadline I decided to give myself.
Yeah.
Story of my life.
Hey, welcome, Erin.
Hi.
You snuck in.
Hi, Erin.
I pressed the wrong link and I was sitting somewhere alone. Sorry about that. I know.
Oh.
It said one person present. I'm like, I think that's just me. I'm not where I need to be. So hi, everyone. Happy release day. I'm so excited for you. You look so gorgeous.
Oh, thank you.
You always dress up on release day?
I love your polka dots.
Yeah, only if I'm gonna have to be online on where people can see. Also, I have to pick something up at my son's high school, so I have to look presentable so he doesn't tell me I'm humiliating.
Oh,
and what is it that you're picking up?
Plants, because they did a plant sale for the PTO. They didn't have strawberries or soybeans as an option. I'm getting some tomato seedlings and some fresh potted herbs.
I mean, it's just like Gran growing the herbs in the basement. So
yeah. Oh, speaking of that, so last weekend I was on my way to Columbus for Bray, which is Beyond the Read author event, and I got to meet so many people. But on my way there, my friend owns Sunberry Farm, which, as you're pulling in, I felt like, oh, this is like Bedfellow's farm. It's this old farmhouse, and inside in the basement is this like massive greenhouse full of seedlings that they get started in the winter. There were lights in there and fans and lumens, and I hadn't actually seen that in person before we wrote Grand's Inside Garden. But now that
honestly, I thought that was something that you made up that no one really does, even though I also put it in my book. And I described it at first like something like the set of The Martian, when he grows
potatoes.
Yeah. But I love the photos that you sent us, so I kind of adapted it a little bit. I decided that they wrap them in plastic in the winter when it's cold.
Yes. Yeah. I'll put some of the photos I took at Sunberry Farm on our Farm to Forking Facebook page so you can see, because I also hung out with chickens. I met a chicken who has frostbite and lost her toes, and she is still beloved.
It's like you said you met a chicken. That shows me that you have great respect for the animals.
Well, I mean, her name is Snowflake.
Aww.
If it's a named chicken,
yeah,
it's a pet. It's not livestock.
Well, I mean, she's definitely responsible for laying eggs there that they sell.
But they're not going to eat her.
No. They're all vegetarians.
I feel like once you name someone, you can't eat them.
Right. It's a
Right.
rule.
Like there's whole children's books about that, where like someone someone in the family falls in love with the animal, and then they die at the end, and it's just like, no. You
Yeah,
can't-
my friend who has a farm said that they learned very early on when they had kids to not name
yeah,
the livestock that was going to be dinner.
yeah.
So my uncle that lives in Saranac that has a little hobby farm, they did name their pig and slaughtered their pig and ate it. And it was called Saucy,
Oh,
short for sausage.
okay.
Oh God.
That's good.
Pragmatic.
Good Lord.
Oh, look, we have a
Descriptive.
question here. Sheeza Pleasa. Oh, that's fun.
Ooh.
Wants to know, why do I not like to write second chance romance? Well, the answer is that second chance romance is really hard to write. All romance is hard to write, but second chance romance, you have to have had them break up, but still be viable to get back together. So I've written either 2 or perhaps 3 I guess 3. And in all of the cases, they were high school sweethearts. 2 of the times I just had them sort of drift apart. Like they went away to college and that was the end of that. But this time I knew it had to be bigger because we had Leah staying away for 10 years. Like it was a shock for Ethan to see her again. So I really needed there to be I had to torture her a little bit. Like there had to be a reason for her to stay gone. And
Right.
yeah, I don't love it, but readers love reading it. And so I guess it worked out.
Well, there's
Lainey-
so much yearning, right? Like
Yeah.
someone you've thought about for 10 years. And I don't like using the phrases like prime of your life and stuff like that, but so many see like teens and early 20s as like this very special time. It's the first time you're falling in love with people and things like that. And then you have to get a little serious as you get older, and you got to get a job, and you forget to dream and all these things. So when that person comes back that knew you when you were so pure and fresh, it's pretty delicious.
It's so good. It's so
That
good.
was
I
flippin'
love
well
writing
said.
romance.
Yeah.
Oh,
My
I love
favorite
it.
part about second chances is that they like have these memories of each other. And so they're always like, well, remember that time we did this thing, and usually it's a sexy thing. And so it's like,
Trying to think of my favorite second chance romances that I have read recently. And I don't know if I can think of any.
I think you did something a little risky with this book, which was having another love interest.
Yeah, that was hard too. I don't know why I did that to myself. Like, Richard wasn't part of my original plan. And then I heard a podcast where they're like, oh, everybody in rom-com, if it's going to work out, there has to be this element of deception. So I was like, oh, somebody has to be, I don't know. But that's where Richard came from.
You know what it reminded me of? And forgive me, guys, if you hear little kids. I'm in my booth and he's at my feet. In Theodora Taylor's, I don't know if it was her.
Yeah.
No, soon. If it was in her regular book or her list, but she talks about the itchy sweater and the cozy perfect pajamas. So you showed us the itchy sweater. I don't think that's a spoiler. So that when she gets her cozy perfect pajamas, it's like, that's what I was meant to be with.
Well, and one of the early readers said something that was so meaningful to me. She pointed out that like Leah really didn't imagine with her illness that she could have a happily ever after. So she was really sort of settling in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and I think in some ways the other, I don't want to give away too much either, but the other guy kind of represents her that other whole life.
Yeah.
Which was kind of all itchy sweater.
Yeah, right.
Like a whole city can be an itchy sweater.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
The
Like there's
career.
that Fated Mates episode about homecomings. And so there's like returning home triumphant or returning home in shambles and like changing your life one way or the other, you know? I think you've got a lot of that going on with Leah.
Well, yeah, and I think on the surface it looks like she's returning home triumphant because she has this career and her health is sort of being managed, but it's not really, because she's not feeling like she's wrapped in a cozy sweater or a nice soft flannel, if you will.
Her heart is in shambles, but
Yeah.
her sort of.
Someone in the audience is asking if we will go around and introduce ourselves, and I think that's a great idea and that we should go in publication order.
Okay.
So I'm Lainey Davis, since you've been gone, and I write steamy contemporary rom-coms.
Hi, everyone. I'm Liz Alden. My book is called Butter You Up, and it is the second in the series. So it's Alex and Molly's book. And Alex is the grumpy dairy farmer, and Molly is the sunshiny van lifer. And arcs are coming out this week, and the book comes out on June 13th. And we all basically write steamy rom-coms, and mine are all set with like an aspect of travel.
And I'm Karen Gray, and this is actually my first contemporary romance. All my books so far have been set in the recent past, in the 1980s and 1990s, or at least most of them have been. I mean, most of the time frame is in the past. So I'm kind of excited to write in the present day, especially with these ladies. And my book is called For Fork's Sake. It comes out in July. I'm madly trying to finish the first draft right now. And it is about Samuel Bed, and who is a nerdy soil scientist. And I'm not going to reveal the heroine just yet. You'll meet her in Butter You Up briefly.
Right.
I'm Erin Mallon. I'm closing my door. My book is book number 4. It's called Bringing Home the Bacon. And it's the heroine, because she's the main character, is Colleen Bed, the one and only sister in the family. And her beau his name is literally Bacon, because he is a sizzling hot chef on a reality show called Yes Chef. And this is one of the fun things about collaborating with these ladies, is we told each other our concepts and ideas and stuff. We just kept giving each other little nuggets and fun things. And Karen said, what if it's called Yes Chef? And when they get kicked off the show, what they say is no chef. And you get kicked off. Yes, thank you.
I forgot I said that part. I remember just the name Yes Chef from of course, what's the show?
The Bear.
They say
The Bear.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, but that's the cool thing too. When you collaborate this deeply, you get to a point you don't remember who said what, and it becomes this just beautiful thing that you wouldn't have made unless you were all together doing it. So
Right.
I'm having a lot of fun. I'm sort of in the beginning stages of writing my draft, but I've got a really good sense of where I'm going, and I'm having a lot of fun. So, yeah.
Yay. Awesome. Well, I'm Ember Leigh. I am the last book in the series, Fork in the Road. And obviously I also write steamy rom-coms. And so my last book is actually, the hero is Jackson Bed, and he's not a farmer. He's a rock star. And I have been dying to write a rock star romance for like the past 5 years. So I am so freaking excited to get this last book in the series. So I'm not going to give away too many details. I'm still working on the outline, but I think it's going to be pretty great. I just think that we've created this fun and wonderful series. I am so excited for all of this.
Well, you know what sticks out to me when you were talking to Ember, I remember like when I'm writing alone, if there's a plot hole, I'm like, and then I just fix it. But with this group, we realized like, they need all this money to save the farm, but one of them's a rock star. Why can't he just pay? So then we had to have a team meeting about like, why can't Jackson just pay? Where is his money?
Where's the money?
And
why is it?
And how big of a rock star is he?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so that was both like a hitch in the way I usually do things, but also this like incredible opportunity, because I just feel like I learned so much more about my character and all of your characters, having to have these discussions over and over again before I could write anything of my own.
Right.
Hey, I have to say, I stupidly double booked myself, and I have to now go and get in the car to go meet my sister-in-law for lunch. But my husband will be driving, so I'm going to try to come back. But if I don't make it back, I do need to talk to you all about the sexy sheep shearer that I just wrote in, just to make sure it's not going to step on any toes. Okay.
All right. I'll let you back.
Hopefully be back.
Okay.
Okay, so we got a sexy sheep shearer, and I wrote a sexy farrier. And so Gran is just plush with choices.
Oh God.
Yeah. I was, I feel like I need to share with everyone that I don't even know how it happened, but I came across like hot farrier TikTok back in like December?
Yeah.
And I had never in my life thought about a farrier. And, then I was like deep in farrier talk. Like there are camel farriers and donkey farriers. And so, now we have to have one in Fort Lick, New York.
I think it got big on TikTok. I haven't seen the sexy ones, but there's a whole thing with TikTok of watching satisfying videos.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what a farrier was until one of you explained it to me recently. But we're taking care of hooves and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's all these videos of animals that unfortunately just haven't been cared for the way they should. And then some sexy farrier, I think his activity is sexy, I don't know what he looks like, comes and he like takes care of them. And you see he like does the exact right cut, and you can tell the animal is relieved and we're relieved. It's sexy. Yeah.
Well, sometimes people say, what do you do for a living? And sometimes I explain it and they're like, oh, how do you go about writing a book? And I'm like, well, right now I'm studying farriers on TikTok. And this woman was like, my son is in school to be a farrier. And so we had this beautiful moment where she showed me all of the photos in her phone of her son in farrier college. It was wonderful.
Yeah, I had the same kind of thing. I was talking to a friend of mine, and it turns out she'd kept bees for a long time. And I ended up not working any of it into my story, but like she told me all about the beekeeping and the quality of the honey that she had. And I was like, this is amazing. Yeah.
I'm going to be doing a lot of bee stuff for my next book that I'm writing, not in Farm to Forking.
I have a sexy beekeeper you can follow on TikTok or Instagram. So,
Excellent.
That sounds like a good Halloween costume. Sexy
beekeeper.
Yeah, I don't know how to make it sexy. I have a bee suit that I needed. Long story, but look, Talassi from the comments says that she used to have a hard crush on the sexy farrier.
Hell yes. Love it.
I think there's just something about like watching a guy who's first of all really good with his hands, which we get in a lot of our heroes in this series, but then also a guy who's into animals and like farriers, good farriers, most farriers, I'm sure, like care about the health and well-being of the animals. So
and they talk gentle to those big old animals and calm them down.
Yeah, nice, calming touches, and those are very sexy.
Those guys, like, they pay attention to details.
Yeah.
They know, like, oh, this animal is like that. She needs this. This one's a little shy. She does that. And you're like, oh, if you pay that much attention to the animals over here, how much attention would you pay to me? Because I think that's what so many of us want, right? Just like notice my specifics and then
attend to them.
Yeah.
Pull it from your leather pants full of tools.
Yeah, and like, why is all that sexy too? Like the little leather apron farriers have, and then the flannel, which we've got going on in a lot of our books too. Like, why is that so sexy?
Oh God, it just is.
It's hardwired in.
So Liz, you said that you're getting ready to do arcs of your book.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about, because my book is It's done and dusted and live and in people's hands. So where, what happens next with your manuscript? I know you got it back from the editor.
Yes, I got it back from the editor, went through all of these suggestions, and then there were a couple things, it's unfortunate Karen's not here to talk about it, but like that we worked together on. So Lainey was great about writing my characters into her book and introducing them. And so I was able to go into her draft and like make suggestions, and then she did the same for mine because Ethan is in my book quite a lot. So then Karen and I have to kind of like partner up and discuss things, and so we've had a little bit of back and forth lately about the timeline for her book and where the characters overlap and how we can introduce them. And then I think I have just like one or two more things that are in the back of my mind that I need to like check on. And so then I'll have like a final version and I can format it and start sending it out. So that's exciting.
Even the formatting has been collaborative because usually I just format my books however I want. And we're using this program called Vellum, and we're all like having to agree on how the text looks on the page.
Yeah, like we were talking about formatting text messages, and that's kind of a new thing in Vellum. So it used to be just that like it was the wild wide west of formatting text messages. So some people would like bold the name and then italicize the text message, or some people would write it in line to the story. And so then we had to talk about how we were going to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
It needs to be the same. It has to be cohesive.
We do. We want a nice cohesive reading experience for the Farm to Forking series.
Yeah, because little things like that, you don't realize how they're playing on you as a reader.
Yes.
They are, because what we're asking people to do is read this whole series and know that it's a real place. We've created it, but it's a real place that you can show up book after book and get to know someone different, and get to know a different aspect of the farm sometimes. But you do want to feel the entire time this is the same place. This is consistent, but each one of us have a slightly different voice, so it's going to have a different energy each book. So little things like that, making sure you don't put anything in there that's going to pull them out, like, oh, this font is completely different than the first font. Like, don't do that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Plus, we also get to do these like little cute touches, like Barbara is in the book formatting because she's a chapter heading, right? I should know this because I need to like do this tomorrow. So
yeah, Barbara is our ornamental space breaker upper.
Have we told people who Barbara is?
Yeah. Barbara Streisand Bed is the family sheep.
Barbara.
Who's very spoiled.
Oh my gosh.
She has a palace.
She was written into the will. So a couple of books ago.
Hang on. I gotta find out now that Erin did that. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
So is that how her name is pronounced? Barbara?
I mean, I'm hoping so, but I'm not sure.
It'll ultimately be up to the narrator, won't it?
I think we can decide and tell the narrator.
You can veto, but the narrator might go for the Barbara and see what you guys say.
Every single time, though, that would be a lot.
Be delightful.
Right.
We'll see.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Oh,
sorry to interrupt.
No worries. I was writing a book a few books ago and the heroine was a historical romance novelist. So I spent some time downtown in the archives with all the people who do this like historical will research. So I know that farm animals and stuff are written into people's wills. People's wills are so specific.
Yeah.
Every single time you read a romance novel and you're like, that will would never hold up in court. That's just nonsense. It really is in these wills. Like everything.
Yeah.
Well, occasionally you get some sensationalized news story about like a parrot that was, given as part of the will, but also receives a stipend or whatever for its care and well-being. Like that's essentially what Barbara is. So
yeah,
totally.
So now I feel like I don't say her name with enough enthusiasm because you have to really Barbara.
I'm thinking, how fun would it be if, and this doesn't exactly have to be written in, it can just be in how it's performed for the audio. like even when people, all the Bed family, like that's her name. It's pronounced with a I'll do better. But like, even if someone's mad, they're like, "How dare you let Barbara in here?" That would be fun,
That would be fun.
right?
Oh my god.
I love it.
All right.
Speaking of that,
Planted.
yeah, we have a question in the chat. Someone is asking, how hard is it to write around YouTube guidelines? Do you cut scenes or rewrite it? So I think that's actually two different questions. I have a lot of my audiobooks on YouTube, and I do them in two different ways. So in YouTube, you cannot run ads if you have sexy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I have two versions of my audiobooks on YouTube, and one version I have pulled out the sexy stuff and put on ads. Ooh, Karen is looking shocked.
I am shocked. I did not know this was necessary.
If you want to run ads, you cannot have sexy bits.
So
But-
what, you like edited them out yourself?
I did, yeah. And then
Wow.
I have another version where each chapter, or I have it like broken up into sections. And so if there is a section that has naughty bits, I turn that specific section, I turn the ads off on that. And so in order for someone to watch that section, they have to verify that they're 18. So you have to be logged in to listen to the sexy bits. But how do I edit them out? I just, it's a whole thing. I sit there with the vellum file and I do a search for the word thrust typically.
Not
And
a
that
nipple
goes away.
because I've heard that's the one you use, nipple.
Yeah, I use thrust. And so when
Thrust is her thing. It's her thing.
yeah. So then I realized, okay, here's approximately where in the audio file I will need to be doing cutting. And I do it in QuickTime, you know.
Audience, Lainey is our trailblazer. She does amazing, like progressive things with her books that none of us have tried yet, and we're all too scared to try, frankly. So props to Lainey for experimenting with YouTube audio, because that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Love it.
But then the second half of that question, do we ever, cut scenes and rewrite them? Yeah, all the time. I try not to delete them. I save them for either like the bonus epilogue or just like maybe I'll do something with that scene later. But yeah, I pull scenes out all the time. What about you guys?
Yeah, not in Butter You Up so much. Like in Butter You Up, I kind of thought sometimes like this. Well, first of all, the book is a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. So I had a couple scenes that I thought, well, I could like cut these and move it around, but I often thought they were really funny scenes, and so I wanted to leave them in, and everybody else was fine with my book being longer than I anticipated. So thank you, everyone. But in other books, what happens sometimes is that I start, like I'm thinking about my release last month, which is called Prosecco with My Professor. And I write a scene and I kind of like, I know ultimately what's going to happen, and but I don't know how it's going to go. So I start writing, and then I get like, I don't know, 500, 600 words in, and I'm like, I am doing this scene from the wrong perspective. Like it needs to be him telling the story instead of her. So then that's like, that's the most often that I cut a scene, is when I realize I've done it in the wrong point of view and it really needs to come from somebody else's perspective. So
Yeah.
otherwise, but just like Lainey, I always keep the scene, and then I can always like flesh it out as a bonus, or just, reuse. Like if I said something clever at some point, I can reuse the joke somewhere.
I actually don't think in all my years of writing that I've ever deleted a scene.
Wow.
Only because my outline process is so over the top extensive that when I write the story, I already know that every scene is required. And if I delete anything, it's coming from the outline first. But if I did delete a scene, I almost deleted a scene in the book that I have releasing this Tuesday, which is not this series, but that I felt like I had a kind of saggy middle and I was looking for something to delete and I couldn't find it. So I had to just trim instead. So kind of weird. I don't know.
Karen's been making faces, so Karen is
Well,
appalled.
I'm going in and out of good internet, but so we'll see what happens. But I am a pantser, and I like right now with the draft of this book, I think I have a third of the book that I have removed already. Like I write to figure out what's happening, and then sometimes it doesn't work, or it's repetitive, or like what Liz said, it's the wrong point of view, but I do save it all. Sometimes I just save chunks and then I try to reuse them later, or sometimes I save the whole scene and I will give that away as a bonus. And sometimes it's just not usable, but I learned something in writing it. So
Yeah.
it was useful that way, but I don't really outline. I mean, I do sort of, and then I ignore it because something else happens. Like, I didn't know this sheep shearer was going to happen, and he just showed up this morning. So
Barbara needed a trim.
Yeah.
So we
well,
know
no, really, the heroine needed comforting, and she needed something to happen to comfort her, and it was watching Barbara get a trim. Barbara get a trim.
So we know that Ember and Erin are big plotters, and Karen's a pantser, and I identify as a pantser. Lainey, what about you?
I thought I was a plotter until I read Erin's outline. And now I realize I am not a plotter. And I think I told you guys this, like this has changed. This project has changed how I'm approaching books. I'm in the middle of writing a book right now and I'm plotting it. And I'm finding it so freeing. Like in the outline, I don't have to worry about the text or the prose, or if I'm sticking dialogue in there, I don't have to freaking think about like, what is he doing with his hands while he's talking? I can just put the dialogue. It's just the outline. And I'm getting so much more done, so much more quickly. So thank you all.
It's crazy how much it expedites the writing process. I find that the outline especially is helpful for making sure you're hitting all the beats. Like that's what I use it for primarily, is to make sure that I'm hitting all the beats that I need to hit in the story. And it's just like the book I just finished. I finished in 3 months and it was 130,000 words.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Because of the outline. That's
But like,
why.
how long did the outline take you? That was a whole process in itself, right?
That was a whole process as well. I can't remember exactly how long that outline took me. Maybe around a month.
Yeah.
Just depending. But the outline itself was over 30,000 words.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I'm actually, it's funny to hear you guys call me a plotter because I'm kind of new to that in a way. I think the reason why I have been a slow novelist for a while, one has to do with kids and one has to do with like writing in a completely different medium. But because I come from the theater, that's all about figuring out as you go and discovering as you write. And so I kind of like married myself to that. Like that's who I am. And and then I started taking TV classes and then I started listening to like novelists. And in TV, when you're in a writer's room, kind of like how you guys, and we've been in a writer's room together for months and months, they call it breaking the story. They don't call it outlining per se. It's breaking the story. So my buddy who works on a TV show for Apple Plus, he's like, you'd be amazed at how little the job is about actually writing. It's about building the series, building the season, and they do it all together. And so I was like, I'm changing my mind now. I'm not outlining, which I used to think was boring. For me, I'm breaking the story. So every day I'm like breaking, like what would happen now? And just doing that. And I'm having so much more fun. So that when I do sit down, the whole thing has felt creative. Not, I'm going to do an outline that isn't based on anything creative. It's so creative. And then I feel more like myself when I dive in. And I don't have to marry myself to anything in the outline either. I think it all should come from that energy of moment to moment exploration. But you have like rails that you can take the ride on.
Yeah.
I would love to make an observation about your outline, Erin. I hope this isn't a spoiler, but you wrote it in third person, like as if it were a narrator in a play. And I know that your book will be in first person present. So I was super fascinated by that. And that is really what gave me permission to write whatever in the outline, get the idea out that I could reshape into a chapter.
That's funny.
Right.
I wasn't even conscious that that's what I did, because I wasn't purposely doing it in third person, because yes, we're writing in first. That is, I don't know why I did that. I don't know. Yeah, but I think it was kind of like as an observer watching the story in a way,
Right.
rather
Yeah.
than me being her as I'm writing it. Yeah. But yeah, we can do whatever the hell we want, Lainey.
I mean,
True.
what was the quote again, Liz?
Oh, I still have it pulled up. I didn't ask to suffer like this. I say piteously while writing the book I decided to write on the strict deadline I decided to give myself.
So
Yeah.
good. We've all been there repeatedly.
We've
over and
all
over.
been there.
So true. So true.
Man, my outline doesn't have to be in first person.
No. I didn't even know I
Wild.
did it in third. So,
You did.
yeah.
You did. And I was like, oh, does she know? Does she know that she did it in third? And
You're probably like, does she know she has to write the book in first?
Right. I think I write mine in third too, actually, now that you guys bring this up.
Have we seen yours yet, Ember?
I
No, you haven't. It's
It
not
sounds
done.
like
but
yours is going to be 30,000 words. So we
It's
got to
gonna be-
buckle up.
God, I hope not. That would be the whole book.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I think I write my outlines in third person. I'm pretty sure I do. There's something about that.
I have
Different.
never written a book in third person, but I've been curious about it lately. I'm reading a lot of Kate Nolan and Zoe York recently, and their
yeah.
stuff is third person. Yeah, it's something I'm pondering for later.
Seems
I
like so much
started writing in third.
trad. It seems like so much trad pub is third person.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
people who are hybrid.
Mm-hmm. I feel like it's the old standard.
Okay.
And that's why I did my first series in third. But then when I went to rom-com, I switched to first present.
Mhm.
And more recently, it's been first past.
So your billionaires are third person?
No, they're first person past.
Hmm.
But my
So-
first series, the MMA,
MMA?
romance,
Okay.
yeah, that's all third person. Yeah.
I feel like you have the most diverse catalog out of the five of us, because you have MMA and you have billionaires and you have rom-com, and now you're going to have this rock star.
Yeah, I do
Yeah.
have 2 small town series, but one of them isn't rom-com. But that's at least kind of in the same lane. So
You have a lot of books, Ember. It's amazing.
I feel like thank you. I feel like I don't. I just recently broke 20 something, but to me that feels like not a ton. I don't know why.
Well, Since You've Been Gone is book 27 for me, and I think that's a lot, and I love it.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
that's great.
I think it's because I hear about I see
Yeah.
things about like this is book number 50, and I'm like, holy crap. You know.
But also you grew a human being this year. Like you're in
Yeah.
the process of growing a human being.
Yeah, it's weird writing pregnant. I feel like this would be a fun topic of conversation because the book I just got back from my editor, her first comment to me was, "I can tell you're pregnant."
Why?
So, because my metaphors and my similes are just really wacky. They don't really make sense. Even I was reading back over. I'm like, what did I say?
Are they all
Brain-
like, she was
Like pregnancy
filled
brain?
with seed
Yeah.
and joy. What are you doing? I need to know.
Just, it's so weird. Like I made up a phrase using the word craw.
like,
And I
crawl.
think like crawl. And I was thinking of a phrase that existed, but I adapted it and like mixing your kind of like mashing 2 metaphors together. Like that happens a lot. And I think it's just because my brain's busy building lungs and stuff, or my body's building lungs for the baby.
And you also have like all of your other life, other job stuff too. So
yeah,
a lot going on.
There's a lot going on, but it is hard to. I remember one time in particular, I forgot the word pants, And I said leg sleeves.
Leg sleeves.
Wow.
My goodness gracious.
So sometimes like when I'm pregnant, I kind of feel like I've learned a second language and I'm fluent in Spanish. And sometimes you have to talk around the phrase that you want to say in a different language because you don't know the word.
Right.
And I used to work as an interpreter in a medical setting. And so I've gotten really good at talking around phrases or concepts that I don't have the exact words for. And that's what it feels like when I'm pregnant, is I'm just talking around something that I don't know how to describe. So leg sleeves.
Yeah. I am here to share that is also what perimenopause feels like.
Oh, good.
That's up next for you.
Yay. Crap. Well, I'm used to it by now, I guess. So I'll just keep going.
Ride that wave.
I've never been pregnant, so I've never had pregnancy brain, and therefore this will be a new experience for me.
It's real unsettling. I am loving one of the things I love about book events is that, you know, most of the people there are women, and many of them are in their 40s or beyond. And so it just is like this great opportunity to be in a space talking about menopause in a way that is so validating.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Well, that conversation took a turn. We've lost some viewers.
Shit.
Oh,
And I think we've frozen
I
Karen.
hope you can hear me.
Oh, she's back. She's
We
back.
can hear you. We
You
can
were
hear you.
like, Karen. Like you were shocked at our whole.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't like the word pants, so I think we should really start up leg sleeves as a thing.
I'm down.
All
I
right.
think we should all vote on it right now.
All right. So in the comments, if you like leg sleeves, give us a thumbs up or a Y, letter Y. Or if you have another idea for what to refer to trousers as. When I studied abroad in England, I did not bring enough trousers with me. And my mother mailed me a package full of trousers. And when it arrived, I ran up to the postman and I said, "This is my box full of pants." And everybody laughed because in the UK, pants is what you call your undergarments. So,
Yep.
Listener Donna likes calling them leg sleeves.
Good.
She's giving us thumbs up.
I think leg sleeves really works, you know.
There was a time not too long ago where one of my sons couldn't remember the word for shorts and he called them short sleeve pants.
Which, like, the word is right there in short sleeve pants. So
Right.
that's funny.
That's amazing. Oh God. Short sleeve pants.
Hey, you know, something that might interest people who are watching is that we might have some giveaways to talk about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So if you go to my Instagram stories, I am giving away a paperback of Lainey's book, Since You've Been Gone. And you can just answer my question in my Instagram stories and you'll be entered to win. Is anybody else doing a giveaway right now?
Well, mine closed. I was
Your
doing
Goodreads giveaways over.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mine's into my newsletter only right now.
Okay.
I'm going to do on my newsletter too, but not till next week.
Okay. So go, everybody run and subscribe to Erin's newsletter.
Run.
Right now.
Yeah. So Liz and Erin, why don't you share where the people can find that stuff? You said your Instagram. What's your handle?
Yep. My Instagram handle is Liz Alden Writer.
I wonder how I could put that on the screen. I'm going to try.
Okay.
Oh. And my website is erinmallon.com. You just go in there and there's a little button to subscribe. Easy breezy.
Look at that.
Oh,
So that's
get
for
it.
Liz's Instagram. Okay. And then we've got Erin Mallon Writer.
Just .com. Just .com.
No writer.
No.
Okay. I'm going to
Don't
get
think
it.
so, but now you're making me. It's just straight up erinmallon.com.
Look, here it comes. Whoosh.
Bam.
Yeah, and if people are already subscribers of Karen and Ember's newsletter, they are also giving away paperbacks. But I'm going to type their info in here too, because people should subscribe to their newsletters. So what have we got? emberleigh.com?
emberleighromance.com.
I'm learning so many things. Here it comes.
Perfect.
And Karen, yours is followkarengray.com. Is that right? Follow Karen Gray. Nope. I'm capitalizing every word because I'm reading about how to make things more accessible online. And so people with visual impairments, if they use a screen reader, if your hashtags or your URLs, if you capitalize each word, the screen reader can say it more legibly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, did not know that.
Yeah. And so then, of course, my website is laineydavis.com. And you can subscribe to my newsletter as well and keep up with all information about Fork Lick, New York. Oh,
Love it.
yeah. So do we have any other?
Don't forget the Facebook page.
Oh, right. Yeah. What is the Facebook is, okay. I'm going to type it and then go in and add the capitals for the banner. Here it comes.
Prepare yourself.
Yeah, so on our Facebook page, we share all kinds of stuff about the series, and that's where I'll post the pictures of me with Snowflake, the frostbitten chicken, and the basement set up with all the lumens and everything. That's going to be up on our Facebook page. Evie from the chat says, more ladies need to talk about perimenopause and menopause. Farms can always grow black cohosh. It's a natural remedy for menopause. That sounds like something Gran should look into and books
Yes.
beyond.
Absolutely.
I just looked up a picture, and it's kind of pretty.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's like this long flowered.
Put it on our Facebook
tube.
page.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, I will have to put it up on the Facebook page. That's cool.
Learn something new.
Every day, man. Every day.
All right. Last call for questions or comments in the comment section of the YouTube, because we have almost hit an hour and I need to finish eating my lunch before I pick up PTA plants. No more questions. In the background, you might hear my rabbit sneezing because he is suffering from seasonal allergies.
I've never thought about a rabbit sneezing before.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't know it was possible.
I am learning so much. This rabbit just had bronchitis.
Oh,
Whoa.
Yeah. I was injecting him with penicillin.
Wow.
Yeah.
a lot going on with a rabbit.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so excited your book is out in the world. This is exciting. Now it's going to be like a beautiful train of books just coming every month. It's very exciting.
I love following the farm season, and that is like a unanimous response from readers when they see our bookmark with the updates on it. Yeah.
Nice.
So fun.
Yeah. Thank you all for being part of this project. I
Happy
love it.
release day.
This has been great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, folks. Well, I am going to go ahead and end the live stream, but please do make sure that you pop over, find us on Facebook, and that is where you can keep up with the series. And we'll have information about each of our websites on there that you can follow each of us individually over there. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video.
Well done. Well done.
Bye, everyone.
Love it. Bye, guys.